moving, got to keep on moving on, keep going on, got to keep on moving on.
We all can make it
In life,
we got to get focused.
keep on moving,
Sky is the limit.
You got to get there, keep moving, keep marching on.
You can make it
In life,
you got to get focused.
keep on moving,
Sky is the limit.
You got to get there, keep moving, keep marching on.
Keep on moving.
Keep moving, keep marching on.
Welcome to the show where we take charge and give you insights on matters of persons with disability.
This episode is dedicated to students who, in spite of being challenged in one way or the other, they still compete with other regular students without complaining. I am your host, Caxton Osozie.
And I'm Jane Theory. A very warm welcome.
Keep moving, keep marching on.
In spite of being physically challenged, Kevin Watsiaya is a student leader at Daystar University at the River. Let's find out just what inspires him to strive to be the best.
Kevin Watsiaya is the only boy in a family of girls. He lacks one of his limbs and he has to use a walking stick to aid his movement.
I was born this way, and I don't know, I can't tell what made the situation to happen, because no one has ever told me that.
Even with his condition, he joined the normal kind of schools. Inasmuch as his condition sparked a lot of questions from his peers, for Kevin, he was not only learning, but also exercising his leadership skills.
When I was growing up, though I'm still growing up, there are some kids, who were looking at me, and they were like, "You don't look like us. What happened?" When you're walking past some kids, they turn around and look at you. They start calling each other and telling them to look at you. Look at this person. He's not like us. Those are the challenges. And those, when they persist, you feel like you're not, part of the society.
After completing his secondary school, he joined Daystar University in Athi River, and his participation in club activities saw him elected as the school secretary for clubs and associations, one of the highest positions in the school students' council.
It wasn't that hard because I'm used to leadership. In primary, the whole of primary I was a leader. When I went to high school I was a leader, and all those stages I was campaigning. Yeah, I remember when I joined primary in Form 1, I campaigned. I was the first prefect to come from Form 1, apart from class prefects. Yeah, and after that I joined university, and I had a little bit of experience. So in university, though it was a different environment, we had mature people whom you had to tell tangible things for you to be elected. It wasn't a hassle.
For him, challenges will always be there, but the key to success is how best you tackle them.
When I'm joining university, that is Daystar, also the same question arises. So those are the challenges, and I'm not trying to explain to people how it happened, how it did not happen. That's where I find a problem. But I've learned how to cope.
His motivation is the fact that as a human being, we are born with equal chances and opportunities in life, and how you use them is what matters. The fact that one is able differently should not be something to deter them from reaching their highest potential.
There is this energy, there is this pressure that is pushing me towards achieving some goals and changing the environment around me. Seeing people being treated the same. Though I'm not an activist, and I will never, one thing I've told people is that I will never go on the streets fighting for the rights of the persons living with disability, because one thing I know is that we all have equal time and chance, and even the Bible says that. So you cannot sit there and wait for someone to come and give you that opportunity. You are the one to create that opportunity.
Kevin has no plans to become an activist of persons with disabilities, as he believes everyone has an opportunity to prove themselves rather than being fought for due to what they don't have.
Let's be hopeful, because for me, hope has been driving me since I was born. And there is one person I always quote every time I talk to people who are disadvantaged in a way. That person is Barack Obama. He said during his first time in office, that hope is not blind optimism. You get. If you are hoping for something, it doesn't mean that you sit on the roads hoping that one day someone will come and take you to that palace. You don't sit somewhere hoping. You have to work for it. You have to work for your hope.
Audrey Hepburn says, beauty is being the best possible version of yourself. What is your take on that, Caxton?
Thank you so much. You were to ask me a question.
I did, of course.
Beauty to me is the admirable aspect of something or a person.
True.
It might be about nature, it might be a character in someone, something that is deep, not just something that you see with your eyes. That's why they say that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder.
Very true.
Yes.
So basically, we shouldn't focus on the face value of
No.
beauty, because beauty is really defined, differently. It's very relative.
Yes.
So whatever you find beautiful to you might not be beautiful to someone else.
Exactly.
So if you strive so hard, like really hard in your life to achieve whatever it is that you want to become, you wake up every other day and you work hard towards achieving those small goals that you set.
Yes.
And you end up accomplishing whatever it is in life, then basically that's what you call beautiful to you, because you'll have fulfilled, the utmost desire in your life.
Exactly.
And basically, of course, you end up living a very fulfilling and beautiful life. So strive hard, regardless of whether you have a disability or not, and you will become whatever it is in life
Exactly.
in a beautiful way.
Precisely.
Let's take a short break and we'll be right back with more, so don't go too far.
Keep moving, keep marching on. Keep moving, keep marching on.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, then you are watching KBC Channel 1 and the program is Abled Differently. Emma Mathenge is an optimistic first-year student at Kenyatta University. She became physically challenged at the age of 10, but that did not have any effect on her dream to become an important person in the society. Take a look at this inspiring story.
Emma Mathenge was born physically abled and went through normal childhood until the age of 10 when complications started to set in.
I was not born with special needs. Niligojeka niko miaka 10. Nenda hosi tena daktari hakugundua. It was later discovered niko na arthritis.
She, however, continued with her schooling as she sought medical intervention. This changed her life as she faced stigma from the society.
Nilipofika class 5 nikapelekwa school of special needs na Lumolo. Huko ndiko nimesomea nikafika class 8. Nikarudi nyumbani. Nikakaa, but nilikuwa naenda shule normal schools. So I used to school with those normal students, all of which it was a challenge.
Her mobility became worse and she had to undergo a hip replacement, which did not solve her problem so much as she ended up on a wheelchair.
Juu kwanza niliharibika joints zote, elbow joints zikakuwa ziko stiff. Na nilipomaliza high school, that was on 2010, hip joint ilikuwa ishaanza inashinda, ilikuwa na maumivu mengi sana. Ndio wakasema niende, the only option that was left, niende nikafanyia replacement. Nienda kufanyia replacement on 2011. Ndio nilifanyia operation ya replacement. It was successful. Nikaanza kutembea. Though I could not put more weight on the operated hip, nilikuwa natembea sana na the other hip. And after that, mguu ulipopona, wakagundua pia the other hip, that's the right hip, ishaanza imeharibika pia. And by then nilikuwa weak sana. Kwanza nilikuwa na stress za shule, nimemaliza form 4, sijui naenda wapi. Tena ugonjwa pia nilikuwa nashangaa mbona mimi siponi. Then nilikuwa najua sitapona. Sikuwa na expect kwa the condition itaworsen within the short period.
Emma was reluctant to use a wheelchair because she had hopes of walking and not using any moving aids.
2012 nikaenda hospitali tena. Daktari akasema sasa hakuna haja nifanyie operation tena ya hip replacement, na hata akifanyia replacement juu ni yenyewe pia na kwa ni ilikuwa ishaanza kufura. Wakasema hii ya kufanya replacement itabidi nimefanywa replacement like the whole joints zote, nitakaa robot. Akasema the only option niliashiwa ni baki. Wakanipatia na wheelchair juu sikuwa natembea. But then hiyo the right hip ilikuwa imeharibika. Nimekaa na wheelchair, nikaenda nyumbani na wheelchair. Initially nilikuwa na self denial. Sikuwa natarajia nitakaa na wheelchair. So at times sikuwa naamka na jaribu kutembea, naanguka. Until nikakuja kujiaccept.
The support and encouragement from her immediate and extended family has been able to see her through the difficult times.
The family members walikuwa wananipa hopes. As in, Emma, one day, vile tu ulikuwa unatembea utatembea. Hiyo kitu nilikaa nayo sana. Nilikuwa nasema, maybe one day tu nitatembea. Nikakaa nyumbani na inaanzanga, you don't heal, huwezi pona kama hujajipenda. So imebidi nimekuja nikajiaccept. Tena nimekuwa nikisocialize na watu wengi sana wako na disability. Nasikiza kwa malengo, naona testimony za watu, naona okay, so this is life. Nimekuwa nikapata hiyo positive attitude.
Her hopes were renewed when she joined campus last year, although finances posed a great challenge.
Family wakaamua hapana, badala ya kufanywa replacements, we enda jiaccept kukaa kwa wheelchair. Miracles do happen. Enda kwa wheelchair, rudi shuleni. Ndio nimerudi shuleni nikakuja kusoma. This was funded by my family members, relatives. Hao ndio walikuja wakaketi wakaona okay, we have to fund juu family yangu initially haiwezi afford kunilipia school fees. Nikaingia campus on September.
Emma is optimistic that she will be able to achieve her dreams of becoming a teacher after failing to achieve her first dream, which was to be a lawyer.
KU has been the place. Nimepata marafiki, nimekuja kujiamini, and I have now big dreams. I know I can, like the rest do. So I also believe in myself that one day I'll teach. Furthermore, teaching does not need legs or hands. It only needs what is in between my ears. And that's what I'm aspiring to be, a teacher, a high school teacher, Swahili and CLE.
She calls for support to persons with disabilities as they can do better than people perceive them.
Ujumbe wangu kwa walio na ulemavu, there is difference between having a special need and being a disabled. Sisi tuna special needs. We only what we have is special needs. Like I use wheelchair kutembea, wengine wanatembea na miguu, lakini natembea bado nawafikia. Kama ni kusoma, it does not mean vile siwezi andika ama vile siwezi tembea, sifai kusoma. Nasoma na watu wengine juu ikifika ni masomo, what is needed is what is between your concentration na kuattend lectures, kusikiza lecture.
Keep moving, keep marching on.
4:30 we wake up, then between 4:30 and 5:30 we need to prepare ourselves. That means bathing, having him eating his breakfast, then I need to bath as well, and then we need to go out in the house at 5:30 in the morning. We need to take a taxi from Mainstream Road. I need to cope with that. I need to cope even in a taxi when we get into the taxi, and then we will start making noise, and then you will see everyone turning, looking you like, okay, what just happened? And then some others will just ask me straight in my eye, is this child crazy?
Phumzile Vilakazi's son isn't crazy. He was born with autism, a disease that affects brain development and behavior. Getting Mxolisi to a school for children with mental disability takes them 4 hours, 3 modes of transport, and 27 rand every morning. For a mother with a disabled child, traveling on public transport means dealing with constant stares on a daily basis. The overcrowded train can make Mxolisi anxious and aggressive.
When he's in a train, you will see him rocking a lot, biting himself a lot because of he will be seeking for attention. He loves attention so much. So maybe he wants my phone, then he will bite and he will bounce his head. He will rock a lot. Eventually, when I give him my phone, and then he will be like, "Come." Some others, they will tell you that, "Please, can you please take your crazy child to another seat?" And then the train will go, and then we will arrive at town. Then at town, from town to Braamfontein, we go by foot. We will walk from the train station to the school, because if we can't afford a taxi fee again. Those hours, they are long hours for him because he needs to relax, he needs to take his medication and stuff. So it's like it taking us forever to get there. They say all children have a right to education, but for us it's not fair because if we need to travel so far to be at school. Meanwhile, a normal child can just walk past the road to get to school. But with us, you need to travel with trains, travel with taxis. It's like a mission to get him at school.
It's hard work, but Phumzile is simply grateful that he's in school at all. It's estimated that 500,000 disabled children across South Africa can't access their constitutional right to education. Only 3% of the National Department of Basic Education budget is spent on special needs schools.
We went to in and out of schools because of some told me that he was not right for them. And then some schools where he went, he will come back with no shoe, no jersey, in the way that you can see that he wasn't in a stable place, sitting still and learning something. I thought to myself, maybe I can just stay with him at home, but it was highly impossible because if he wanted school so much, he will tell you, "Mommy, school." I was so sad. It was so disappointing of me as a mother, playing a role, being a mother to Mxolisi, and then didn't know how to cater that for him. Yeah, it was highly sad.
Of the 33 schools in the area that she lives, only 8 can accommodate learners with mild impairments. But roughly 2/3 of the children in the area, including Mxolisi, are classified as severely impaired. Phumzile struggled for 5 years, trying 8 different schools along the way, until she was finally able to get him into a well-resourced school that is equipped to teach autistic learners. But he's one of the lucky few.
Especially for poor single mothers that have children with disabilities, it's almost impossible to try and find a school for your child to go to. It's very difficult, firstly, to figure out what the process is to even try and get your child into a school. And so the mother struggles, goes from pillar to post, gets her child on endless waiting lists, and never hears back from schools, and really, really struggles.
Jean Elphick works for Africa Tikkun, a developmental organization helping provide education, health and social services to children and their families in South African townships.
There's a very close link, a demonstrated link between disability and poverty. And a lot of that stems from the fact that so few people with disabilities actually access an education. So if you look at policies like saying all businesses should employ people with disabilities, there is the sort of demand, but the supply side is such a problem because so few people with disabilities get an education.
In 2001, the Department of Education laid out the strategy for establishing an inclusive education system in South Africa, which would allow for abled and disabled children to learn side by side. Inclusive education means that certain public schools would be equipped to accommodate learners with mild to moderate disabilities, instead of having to build separate special schools to cater for them.
The policy states that in a period of 20 years, the department would have converted 500 primary schools to become inclusive schools. But let me tell you that by February 2015, we were sitting at 793 schools that have already been converted and designated as inclusive schools. We were talking in 2012, we were talking about 124,000 learners with disabilities who are in mainstream schools, and of course 111,000 who are in special schools.
Despite the department having achieved some of its goals set out in the policy, disabled children are still routinely turned away from mainstream schools that can't accommodate them. Not all mothers will be as lucky as Phumzile to experience the joy of seeing their disabled child go to school.
It was so lovely for me, for him to be at school, and for me as a mother to know that I have achieved something for him. I have achieved the biggest thing, which is education.
There are probably over 500,000 children in South Africa that are not going to school when they're the compulsory school going age. And children with disabilities form a disproportionate section of those children. Children that just do not get up like their brothers and sisters each morning, put on a school uniform and go to school.
Let's take a look at the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability.
The UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities states that state parties recognize the rights of persons with disabilities to work on an equal basis with others. This includes the right to the opportunity to gain a living by work freely chosen or accepted in a labor market and work environment that is open, inclusive and accessible to persons with disabilities.
As always, it's a pleasure to have you on board, and no matter what condition you're battling or the challenges that you're going through, trust in the Lord and He will be your beacon of hope.
And remember to send in your comments through the number on your screen. That is 22162, starting with the letters AD, and it should be in capital letters. On behalf of Able Differently crew, see you next week. I've been your host, Caxton Osonzie.
And Jane Theory.
Kwaherini.
You make me smile every day. Woman, you're my happiness, my loveliness. Kwawe bubu, kwangu mahabubu. Your beautiful eyes, shake your body till morning light. Japo sipati neno lako, ishara yaonyesha mapenzi.